The microculture I'm going to talk about today is restaurant employees. From McDonald's to Wolfgang's Steakhouse, there are restaurants all around us. Each experience as an employee is different from place to place, but generally speaking, many restaurants work in the same way. It would be easier for me to adapt to a new restaurant environment than someone who's never worked in one before. I'm going to base my microculture to my experience of working at the Bridgewater Olive Garden. I have worked at the Bridgewater Olive Garden going on 3 years, starting when I was only 17. This was my first real job, and it has been an experience, to say the least. There are many beliefs and values we all share in my restaurant. It goes without saying that our main goal is to give the guests the best experience possible. This goes a lot farther in my restaurant. My first day of training, we were taught that we serve guests, not customers. It's our way of making the restaurant feel more welcoming. At Olive Garden in particular, we pride ourselves in 100% guest delight 100% of the time. Getting an order right the first time is our main goal. Yes, mistakes happen often, but we do almost anything to make sure our guests have a great experience. We want to make that strong connection with our guests to keep them coming back again and again. The happier they are, the more likely they are to come again. We will go that extra mile for, yes, a higher tip, but to make sure you and your family enjoy your food and your overall experience. At places like a diner, you're rushed and they want you to get out as fast as possible. At places like Olive Garden, we want you to stay and enjoy your meal and enjoy your time with your family. The other big value that is instilled into us is how much of a family we are. I'm sure you've heard the commercials, when you're here, you're family. And that's completely true for my coworkers and I. We have each other's backs and we would do almost anything for each other. The closeness we have with each other helps make the environment more fun and helps to make the shifts go by faster. I have made lifelong friends from work, and the ability to make new ones is fairly easy. The family aspect comes in handy when you're really busy and need someone to help you get some bread or salad out to a table. Having a second family and a large group of diverse friends at work makes you a better person and makes everything more fun. All of this is greatly valued in my microculture. Alright, so I'm here to talk to you about the different characteristics of the people in my microculture. So like we've discussed, my microculture is restaurant employees. And when you work in a restaurant, you have to have a certain uniform to prove that you are an employee of that restaurant. But specifically, I'm going to talk to you about an Olive Garden uniform. So as you may or may not know, Olive Garden employees must wear all black. A host can wear Everyone must wear black pants, which I'll show you in a second, and their non-slip shoes. And hosts can wear any kind of shirt they want as long as it's black. It's different for servers and for to-go. I am specifically a to-go specialist at Olive Garden, so we have to wear our black collared shirts, black pants, and our non-slip shoes. I'll show you that entire ensemble. So we have our sleeve length black shirt with our collar, we have our black pants, you have to have your belt, because when you're working in a restaurant in the kitchen it can get really slippery, you can run over water, you can be walking really fast, so you have to have these non-slip shoes that are supposed to help you from slipping. I can promise you that these shoes don't really do that because they're worn out from all the walking that I do, but I have to wear them anyway. And one of the most specific things about working at Olive Garden is our pins. But that's basically the uniform, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like with my apron on. This is what I might wear when I was hosting, if I were to do hosting in the morning and to go at night. But then I'm going to show you in 1 second what it looks like with the entire apron on. I'm going to show you the full uniform of what a server or a to-go specialist would wear. So I have on my apron. Oh, there we go, we'll do this. So this is my apron, and we wear aprons to hold all of our stuff. Over here, I have my my swipe card to get on the computer and to put orders in. I have my Viper to open bags, and on this thing right here, I would also put the key to the drawer, because as a to-go specialist, I have the drawer key, and I control all the cash that comes in so I can get orders, cash for servers and cash for guests. Also in this pocket I have my book that I put all my orders in. In here I write down all my orders, and we have little things to remind us of the different promotions that are going on. Then one of the most important things about working in a restaurant is all of the pens that you have. Pens are kind of a commodity that you might not be able to get and are really difficult to find. So I try and get as many pens as I possibly can, because you run out so often, and I should share them with other people, but I don't, because I know if I give someone a pen, it won't come back to me. And if I so happen to find a pen on the ground, I will pick it back up because you are unlikely to find a pen. And when you run out of pens, you can't put down orders. And as to-go specialist, when someone calls and I have the phone hanging out right here and I don't have a pen, I'm kind of screwed. So all of this put together is your uniform, and everyone who wears this uniform kind of signifies that they work at Olive Garden. So it's a specific physical characteristic of everyone that works there. But I just want to go again and show you this is the full uniform of someone you'd see working at an Olive Garden. And all of us look exactly the same, so if you were to see us here, you would know that we'd work at Olive Garden. So one of the other specific characteristics that I want to talk about of people that work at restaurants is our strange hours. While most of the world is off and wants to go out to dinner, we're working. You can't go out to dinner without us. We work usually during the nighttime is when it's the most busy, so we'll have like 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock shifts almost every single night, and we don't get weekends off. We are open Monday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 11, from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and we're there all the time. You can either work all day, which is an open to close shift, and sometimes you won't get a break, sometimes you do. It's very strange hours. So the people who work here, they might have, like me, I have school in the mornings, and then I come directly from school and I go to work and So I've already talked about some of the physical characteristics of the people that work at Olive Garden, but there are some personality and other different characteristics that I want to talk about as well. People who work at restaurants must have energy and be enthusiastic during our entire shift. Restaurants seem to attract people with bubbly and friendly personalities that thrive in a social environment. We are very patient, understanding, and overall pretty enthusiastic. We must be very patient as we come in contact with many different types of people. From the people we work with to the people that show up to be served, we must be understanding to the individual needs and personalities. We are people that work hard for a tip and will do almost anything for it. We have the ability to work through stressful situations and constant frustrations. Many things can and will go wrong during a shift, and we must adapt. There are times when there is a general sense of negativity in the restaurant, but we must overcome it to get our tips and make the guests happy. A bad day must be left at the door when you walk into a shift because a bad mood means little tips. There's no one kind or typical employee at a restaurant. There are those that have restaurant employment as a career, and there are those that are part-time. Many of our employees are students either in high school or at a local college. Some people have a desk job during the week and work at the restaurant only on the weekends. I know one woman that nannies all day and comes to Olive Garden at night. There are moms, dads, retirees, and recent college graduates. Some people want to work in a restaurant forever and become a manager eventually. For others, this is only a stepping stone in their life. From all backgrounds and all walks of life, we all come together to make up our microculture. There are many behaviors and many patterns of communication that we share when working at a restaurant. Being a restaurant employee means we have to shape our lives towards our schedule. It's very difficult to change a shift or get a cover because we are all valuable. The managers need all of us to have the restaurant run successfully and fill each position. We have to respect that, so calling out or not showing up is very rare. We have different ways to communicate with a variety of different jargon that many people would not recognize. All restaurants are different in the way they communicate, but many of our terms are the same. There are many, many different terms that I could describe to you to talk about different ways we communicate, but I'm just going to name a few that I think are kind of interesting and specific to my Olive Garden. Being in the weeds means that you're drowning and need help. It's a way to say that you're busy and need assistance. Many of us don't use this term anymore, but it's kind of an Olive Garden term that I heard is specific to especially Olive Garden. To bump something is a term used to get food off the screen. When we're taking food out to the guests, we must acknowledge that it's ready, so you can bump it off the system right before you bring it out. A follow is someone to help you take something out to your table when you have too many plates or too many salads that you need help, so you get a follow to help bring the stuff out. A headset is a piece of technology we use so the managers, hosts, buzzers, and to-go can communicate throughout the shift with ease. When something is dead, it means it's food that's been in the window too long and maybe is dried out, but it's basically food that has something wrong with it that we can't serve it to the guests, but the servers and all of that can still eat it. The window is the place in the kitchen separating the cooks from the servers, and it's where the food comes out. It's heated and keeps the food warm while it waits to be taken out to the guests. The kiosks are those pesky little computers at each table that we request that you pay on, and you accidentally might be charged for playing games, and trust me, we don't like them that much either. To wipe down means that a table is clean and it just needs to be wiped off with a wet rag before it can be sat with a guest. Under the large umbrella of restaurant employees is different values and aspects. The values at a Wendy's and other fast food restaurants are different than a sit-down place like Olive Garden. The guests are treated differently at each place as well. Like said before, we like to make that connection with our guests and get your bill as high as we can. The patterns of behavior we share stayed with us in and out of the restaurant. For example, my cousin and I went to a different Olive Garden a few weeks ago, and we knew how it worked and knew exactly how to communicate with the server to make their life easier and give it exactly what we needed. This can be applied to any other restaurant I go to. I understand the server's job and am more empathetic to someone else than someone else would be. Every restaurant you work at is different, but we generally can communicate and understand each other. The behaviors of someone who works at a restaurant is different than those who do not. I was talking to one of the line cooks recently, and he told me how he goes directly from Olive Garden to the Cheesecake Factory. He works from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. or later at Olive Garden, and then spends all night cleaning at Cheesecake to get ready for the opening. This highlights what I said about a restaurant employee working hard for money. He said that some days he may only get 2 hours of sleep before he has to come work at Olive Garden, and works almost every single night. I know one of our dishwashers works in the morning at Olive Garden and goes to bus at Cheesecake at night. One of the hosts slash to-go specialists at Olive Garden just got a job at an Applebee's. The transferability from one place to another is extraordinary, and the hard work we put in to make a living is incredible. More than 14 million people work in the restaurant industry in the United States, and there are more than 650,000 restaurants in the United States alone. There are over 850 Olive Gardens globally, which is about 23 or 25 are outside of the US, so there are about 825 Olive Gardens inside the United States. In our region locally, there's the Bridgewater Olive Garden, the Piscataway one, Springfield, Lawrenceville, Woodbridge, Livingston, and Rockaway. And those are just a couple of the ones that are in central New Jersey and around our area. So a couple different interesting and relevant facts I could share with you is that we, in our Olive Garden, donate food to charities around the area. We've donated soup, salad, and breadsticks to different fire department and rescue squad events and even different tournaments. We serve over 13 million bowls of pasta during the Never-Ending Pasta Bowl, and that's not a fun promotion. Olive Garden is the largest Italian-themed full-service chain restaurant in the United States. And you may or may not know, Olive Garden is part of the Darden Company, which Red Lobster once was a part of, but is not anymore. And there are sometimes you bring a Red Lobster gift card, and we won't use it, and sometimes we do. It just depends on the gift card, but we're technically not supposed to use any Red Lobster gift cards anymore because it's not a part of the company. Most of the food that comes out of Olive Garden is not authentic Italian. If you've seen the videos on YouTube, I think BuzzFeed made a video of Italian grandmas trying Italian Olive Garden food, and they had a lot of complaints. The last thing I want to share with you was you may or may not have seen in some commercials of Olive Garden claiming that we train our cooks at the Tuscan cooking school in Italy. And I can tell you that this cooking school does not exist. We do sometimes are able to take trips to Italy, like if a server sells enough wine in the region, they have a chance to get drawn to go to Italy for a trip. But there is no Olive Garden cooking school to teach you how to cook.